Hello, I'm Almeta Cooper, and I'm with Mom's Clean Air Force.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tonya Calhoun with the Environmental Defense Fund.
What does Juneteenth mean to you? Please listen and learn as some of our friends share what Juneteenth means to them.
Good afternoon. My name is Angie Weed, and I'm so blessed to be speaking about Juneteenth. I didn't know a lot about it until about 25 years ago when I met a man who really helped to start the celebration. We, African Americans, blacks, Negroes, whatever you want to call yourself, we need to be more involved and more committed to learning about our ancestors who were enslaved and brought us through all of this.
For those of us who are from Texas, Juneteenth is more than strawberry soda and red velvet cake. In my family, we've been celebrating Juneteenth for as long as I can remember because we think about Freedom Day and justice.
Well, let me tell you what Juneteenth means to us.
Yes.
So we're from Atlanta, Georgia, and it wasn't until we were in our young 20s that we had ever heard of Juneteenth. We left Atlanta and went to college out in Texas. I attended University of Houston, and my then boyfriend, now partner for life, attended Prairie View A&M. And so we get out to Texas, you go to school in August, and then it rolls around after the first year, we've made friends. There's this big talk about the upcoming celebrations around Juneteenth. I didn't know what Juneteenth was, and so we learned then. And so much fun, lots of celebrations, people inviting us over to their family celebrations, cooking out, just having fun, celebrating life, celebrating family, celebrating one another, and then really understanding what it meant. There's a bittersweet moment that it took 2 years. I'd never known that after slavery was abolished, it took 2 years for word to even travel. So then you start thinking, where's the importance? It must not have been important. Whatever the history will tell you, I've read many different versions. But at the end of the day, after all of that time, what it means today, especially in the significance of it, is that it is something that in the culture of our people, it makes you very proud because it shows you just how far we can advance and what we have done. And actually for our generation, just simply was a part of the expectations of the African American family. Get an education, achieve, protect your health, grow your family, and get a piece of the American pie. And so for you,
Juneteenth has I have a slightly different understanding of Juneteenth, acceptance of Juneteenth. I truly, in my 20s, I didn't understand for several years how it could take 2 years to inform people that they were free. That just, for many years, was unsettling to me until I came to grips with the situation. I'm so excited today that Black people get to celebrate their independence, and it is a national holiday. So I am disturbed that it took 2 years, but I'm very excited that today
part of our culture,
we can celebrate our independence and grow from there.
And the wonderful opportunities that our children and generations of families in the African American community hopefully won't have to carry that burden.
Yes.
I grew up in Texas, so I was taught the date and significance of Juneteenth early on. For me, Juneteenth is a reminder of the complexities that come with freedom in America. Just because we say we believe in freedom doesn't mean that everyone experiences that on the same level. And Juneteenth is an example of some of the history that we need to unpack for each other so we can better understand what it means to be free. And I realize some of these conversations come with complexities. They could be a bit uncomfortable. But I think the better we understand freedom, the better we can build it and protect it.
I'm excited about Juneteenth because it gives me an opportunity to honor the memory of Amanda Boyd. Now, she may not mean anything to you, but to Damian Boyd Sr. and Jr., she's my grandfather's grandmother and his great-grandfather's grandmother. She was the first one freed during slavery. You see, to her, this day meant that she could be self-determined, like many of us today. So today we remember the life and the legacy of Amanda Boyd from Washington, North Carolina, right? Yeah? Yeah.
The story of Juneteenth is one of pain and suffering, but also one of freedom, love, redemption, and joy. Being from Louisiana, having such a close proximity to Texas, I learned about Juneteenth as a child. I was clearly aware that July 4th was celebrated as the nation's Independence Day, but I was also aware that my ancestors weren't free until years later. Needless to say, I thought of Juneteenth as a time to honor the freedom of all people living in the United States. I'm grateful that Juneteenth is now a national holiday, and I will continue to reflect on the strength and endurance of our people, the recognition of Black voices, and ability to come together and progress towards equal opportunities for all. Sensitized to the conditions and experiences of all people, only then can we make significant and lasting improvements in our society.
When I think about Juneteenth, the word that comes to mind is hope. A hope for the generations that will come after me and the hope that the ones before me hold on to. This is something that's unimaginable and something that's indescribable, but it's what drives me to continue the work that I do every day.
Growing up in Houston, Texas, I learned about Juneteenth from a young age. But for my family, Juneteenth was less about getting together and more about the celebration of Black strength and the recognition of Black struggle. It was about the appreciation of the progress that we have made today as a people, but also acknowledging the resilience and perseverance it took for our ancestors to get us to where we are today. Juneteenth is about acknowledging the history of where we come from, but also looking forward to the progress that we have yet to make and the future that is still before us.
Juneteenth, to me, is a federal holiday in which we can reflect on where we started and how much we can continue to grow. Juneteenth is a day to celebrate Black people and how far we have come since 1865 to now. It's not just an African American holiday, it is also an American one that should be celebrated by all Americans because it represents how America got one step closer to upholding the values it was built on. Getting together with family, community service, or even having conversations about the holiday are great ways to celebrate Juneteenth.
What does Juneteenth mean to you?
How slavery ended in Texas and how they really didn't know that slavery ended 2 years later. Me and my grandma and my sisters went to the Juneteenth parade and we saw how other people celebrated Juneteenth. We drove around Atlanta, downtown.
When I celebrate Juneteenth, I usually go to different gatherings that remind everybody how special the holiday is and that it contributes to what our future and what the present looks like now. And it's important to remember what it means, and we should be reminded of how important Juneteenth is.
Thank you for joining us for these Juneteenth moments. Let's all protect clean air and our children's health. We want justice in every breath.